We're going to start today lying down. So laying down on your back, just allowing the feet to be wherever they feel comfortable for your pelvis, the arms relaxed. You can have your hands resting on your body if you like to do that, or if you prefer, just have them resting down on the ground. And it's up to you. Palms down is very grounded, very connected. Palms up is much more open and receptive. Just a softening of the chin down towards the chest, just bringing in some length in the back of the neck. And you may find that you want to consciously just sort of shuffle the shoulders, if they do move, just a little bit away from the ears. And then with the eyes closed, just letting gravity soften any tension around the face. The same again with the next exhale, just allowing gravity to just gently release any tension across the upper chest. Feeling the pull of gravity on the arms and the back of the body. And a sense of feeling grounded through the soles of the feet. And taking a moment to just breathe into this feeling of being grounded and being supported by the earth. The focus for today's practice is to start to integrate the energies of the full moon. So she was full on Wednesday. For some of us, depending on our birth chart, it was a very intense moon. For some of us, maybe, you just kind of didn't even realize it was a full moon unless you saw her up in the sky. But whether we sort of have a very physical or emotional reaction to her energies, we are still receiving her, they're light codes, they're very specific frequencies that are literally shining down on us, being absorbed by our energy system. And so today's practice is a very grounding, very steady, very slow practice, a journey into that introspective space that we always like to explore in yoga, with the intention to really receive more deeply and integrate fully these energies of the full moon. So just a few breaths here, just really feeling how through the exhale we can let go a little bit. And the pull of gravity, it's such a massive energy that we're probably not aware of most of the time. But it's magnetic force that is keeping us on the surface of this planet. This magnetic force that the moon is very much connected to. She's in charge of the tides, the movement of water. Her magnetic pull is so strong, that these bodies of water are moving in response to her energy. And we are over 70% water, so we are also in this constant magnetic relationship with the moon, with the planet. A good reminder that we're all connected. So now on today to open up practice, just really for the next couple of breaths, just breathing in the intention. And inviting, as always, the exhale to soften, particularly the eyes, the lips, and the low jaw. Going to just open up the back of the left leg, extending it up towards the sky. So hugging the left knee in and just taking your hands where they feel comfortable around the back of the leg. And if this really engages your shoulder, if you have got something to hand, it can be a tea towel or a sock, or a yoga strap. You can take it around the back of your leg and then extending the left leg up towards the sky. So as if we were standing as well, it's not by locking out through the back of the knee, just really extending up through the ball or the heel of the left foot, whatever feels most appropriate, just to get a sense of opening in the back of the left thigh and the hamstrings. And if you'd like to, extending the right leg forward, or if you prefer, just keep the sole of the foot on the floor. If right leg is extended, just pressing down the whole of the back of the leg, you'll probably just feel the back of the heel maybe. Just pressing down into the earth. If your foot is on the floor, just really grounding down through all four corners of the foot. So right leg is active and grounded. Left leg is extending up towards the sky. Just subtle movements of energy. And staying here with the eyes closed and just observing the quality of your breath, however it is today. And with the reference of the earth beneath us, perhaps inviting the breath to breathe more into the back and into the sides of the body. What we're always wanting to invite the body to do is to take a full circumferential breath. So when we inhale, the whole of the rib cage would be expanding, the whole of the diaphragm is engaging. And then the exhale, the whole of the rib cage was softened back into the body. Because we all overuse the front of the rib cage, the front of the diaphragm, we just need to just be attentive and invite the rest of the body to join in. If right leg is extended, just bring the sole of the foot on the floor, recline pigeon, left ankle over right knee. As always, yogi's choice if you'd like to stay here, or take your hands around the back of your thigh, the front of your shin. Just be aware that the sacrum is grounded, and also just be aware that you're not trying to open your left hip from your knee. I know there can be, maybe, we want to kind of go there with the forearm, but just a feeling, a muscular activation of externally rotating the left hip. Okay, so never open the hip from the knees. Shoulders are soft. Again, if they're super engaged here, you can either use a strap if you have one, or just place your foot on the floor. And again, just feeling, observing, connecting into the breath with the eyes closed. That invitation for the breath to breathe into the back of the body, the reference of the ground makes it a lot easier. Check in on an exhale, the face is soft. If your right foot is up, just release it down. Moving into half happy baby on the left leg. So keeping that keeping that external rotation, you can hug your left knee in towards your armpit, or if your hamstrings are up for it, you can open up your knee and take a hold of your foot or somewhere along your shin. No aggression here, so we're not forcing the knee down towards the floor. It's just more of a support to enable us to access into the back of the leg, or if you're hugging your knee, to access into the hip. Yogi's choice again, keep the right foot on the floor or extend the leg forward. And if you're choosing to extend the leg forward, again, just pressing that leg down into the earth so we've got some support. Eyes closed, observing the breath. If it feels like it's doing it for you, inviting the breath into the back of the body. Stepping out of our own way, just moving into that vibration of observing, just observing the breath, just letting it do whatever it needs to do in relation to the body. And the body will always respond to the breath a lot more than it will respond to us when we kind of get in the way and try and make things happen. And a lot of the time the body actually contracts because we're not so in tune with it as the breath is. And so the body essentially, it trusts the breath more than it trusts us, because I've spent most of my life not listening to my body, so it just requires a rebuilding of trust. And that's one of the gifts that we get from our yoga practice, the space, the time and the intention to really let our body know that we're willing to listen to it. If right leg is extended, bring the foot on the floor, release your left foot down, and just take a moment here before we do all that on the other side. Just slowly, slowly easing ourselves into our body. Right knee, hug it up, and then take your hands around the back of your thigh to extend right leg up. So it's up to you, the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, whatever feels like it's really opening up through the back of the leg. And then yogi's choice again, extending left leg forward or keeping the foot on the floor. If left leg is extended, just pressing the back of the leg down into the earth and reaching the right foot up towards the sky. And again, closing the eyes, just getting out of the way. Practicing just being present, rather than feeling like we have to do and make things happen. And it's got to be in a certain way that we've decided. We're just really stepping out of that. And just observing the breath, observing the body. And just checking on the exhale, the shoulders are soft, face is relaxed. And again, we're not making that happen, but we're just allowing the exhale to release any tension that might have crept in. So the breath is doing all the work. Recline pigeon, bringing the left foot on the floor if it's not already there, right ankle over left knee. Decide what you'd like to do with your left leg. And again, just make sure that your right leg, we're inviting the external rotation from the hip, not by sort of pressing into the knee. If you are bringing your left leg in, just make sure that the sacrum, back of pelvis, is grounded. And that feeling of wanting to externally rotate the right hip. So that brings in muscular support, okay, which is what we're always looking for. We don't just want to kind of like overstretch joints or, make them do something they don't want to do. And again, the eyes closed, moving into that internal space and practicing just being present. Spending time away from the deep conditioning that we all have of doing, and this distorted belief that's been put in us at a very early age, that the harder we try and the more we do, the better it is, and we tick all the boxes. But it's exhausting, as we get older. I feel we all see that it's just exhausting. And it also really brings us out of balance, because we need time to just be and to be still, as well as times of doing and being active. So observing the breath again, if you like to, you can invite it to breathe into the back of the body. Much easier with that physical referencing of the earth underneath us. half happy baby, left foot on the floor if it's not already there. You choose, you can hug your right knee up towards your armpit, still keeping that external rotation in the hip, or if your hamstrings are up for it, opening up the leg and just resting your hands wherever it feels appropriate. Just check, you're not trying to yank your right knee down towards your armpit. It won't thank you over time, and nor will your hip. And then if you want to, extending left leg forward. And if you don't want to, keeping the foot on the floor, feeling grounded. If left leg is extended, that same energy reaching out and pressing down. Just letting the body respond to the breath if and when the body would like to. Really observing if we get a little bit forceful or aggressive with the body. Choosing to keep the focus on the breath. The moment we kind of move away from that firm choice, that's it, you know, we're up in the mind. And like 3 thought forms down the line, you know, we're off the mat, we've thought about something completely different. So we always have to keep coming back. It's a breath by breath choice to stay focused on it. The more we practice, the easier it becomes. Bringing the left foot up if it was extended, right foot down. Again, just a moment here. We're going to move into abs. So just get your block. We're going to do Christie's abs with the straight leg variation, okay? So getting the block flat and low and just placing it underneath the back of the pelvis. So you might need to have a little adjustment here when you bring your legs up. But when you do bring your legs up, there's a feeling of being supported. So we're going to do the straight leg variation, okay? So legs up towards the sky. If you're okay with it, hands on the front of your body, just to reference if you really dome out through the belly and the front rib cage, because we want to breathe away from that. If you're not comfortable with this, don't worry about it. Just place your hands wherever you want to. Soft exhale out through the mouth. Inhale your navel and front rib cage back into the body. Internally rotate left leg and then slowly release your left foot, your left leg, either onto the earth or towards the earth. It doesn't matter. Once you've got there, take a breath in, navel draws into spine. Start the exhale first, okay? So start to exhale, then that release of energy is what brings your left leg back up to center. Inhale into the back body, navel and front rib cage drawing. Inwardly rotate right leg and then slowly, so we're not just flopping with gravity, we're very much in control as the right leg goes to wherever it's going to go to. And inhale to just gently invite the navel in towards the spine. Don't get aggressive with that. Start the exhale first. So a microsecond after the exhale has started, we initiate that release of energy to bring right leg up to center. Inhale, soften the belly into body. Inwardly rotate left leg. This time as you release it down, reach through your left heel. So you're lengthening your leg and then reach through the right heel up towards the sky. So the legs very, very active, these lines of energy. Take a breath in, soften the belly into body. Exhale, reach through the left heel first, and then the exhale brings left leg all the way back up. Take a breath in into the back body, just checking the shoulders are soft. Inwardly rotate right leg, and as you start to release it down, press through the right heel, press through the left heel up towards sky. And if you've got your hands on your belly, just really not doming out towards the sky. The breath in to soften the belly into back body. Exhale, reach through the right heel, and then slowly, in response to the exhale, right leg comes up. Take a breath in into the mid-back. Inwardly rotate left leg, and then slowly again reaching through the heel. In control, left leg down towards the floor. Reaching through right heel up towards the sky. And what is in control of all of this are the deeper core muscles. When it's time, take a breath in. Exhale, reach the left heel forward first. Keep drawing the low and the mid belly in as left leg comes back up to center. Inhale, just breathe into the sides and back of the ribs. Inwardly rotate right leg, and then as you lower it down, keep reaching forward through the heel, keep reaching up through the left heel, and a sense of just that constant softening of the front body into the back body. Always static on the inhale. Exhale, reach through the right heel first, so lengthening the leg, and then keeping the front body drawing in. Right leg comes back up to center. We're going to do one more round. Inhale, just softening the front body in, so it's not a massive contraction, a softening. Exhale, externally rotate left leg, reaching the leg out of the hip as you send energy through left heel. Reaching right heel up to sky. Once your leg goes as far as it goes, that inhale, drawing the skin between the pubic bone and navel into body. Exhale, reach forward through the left heel. Slowly keeping the front body drawn in. Left leg comes back up to center. Last time, just check the shoulders are relaxed as you inhale into the back body. Inwardly rotate right leg, and again, as you release it down, reaching through the right heel, reaching up through the left heel. No doming out through the belly and the front rib cage, okay? That's because we're trying to use the diaphragm as a core muscle and overuse the rectus abdominis, the superficial ones. When your right leg is static, the inhale here, softening the front body in. Exhale, reach forward first through the right heel, keeping the front body in. We're making the deeper core muscles work here. That's why we have to stop the diaphragm and the rectus abdominis engaging. Once you're back up, just place your feet on the floor, come off the block. And just a couple of breaths here, just letting the back of the pelvis kind of have a moment. Now it's off the block. Yogi's choice, you can roll up, but be careful of your neck, or you can roll over, which is what I like to do. And then we'll meet on all fours. Have a much more middle-aged, sedate practice now. Okay, so a wide leg cat-cow. So knees wide, big toes touch. So we're going to keep the lumbar curve, okay? So you're going to stick your, if you had a tail, you'd be up towards the sky. Soft elbows, shoulders away from the ears. So we keep this positioning in the torso, right? Inhale, opening the heart space. Exhale, just sending your bum back towards your heels. The moment you lose your lumbar curve, back off, okay? So it's not about getting to your heels. And then wait for the inhale. It's like the heart space is just being energetically drawn forward. And that's what brings us up. And then the exhale. Again, lots of agains, just moving back with the breath. Couple more in your own time. Being guided by the breath. Check the elbows are soft, the shoulders are away from the ears. And then when the next inhale comes, never rush, just move in your own time, finding yourself back up on all fours. Once you're there, just bring your knees in. Going to do a little cat-cow down dog flow, so a more neutral position with the knees. Tuck the toes. Inhale, opening the heart space. Exhale, downward facing. Check your elbows are soft, squeezing upper arms towards each other. Inhale, up on the balls of the feet, but don't send the shoulders forward. Just lift the bum up towards the sky. Exhale, slowly down through the heels, not locking out the knees here and not interested in forcing the heels to the floor. Inhale, gently place your knees back down. And that inhale also opens up the heart space, elbows soft, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, downward facing, really slow, just moving with the breath. Squeeze the upper arms together. Inhale up on the balls, so your bum is up, shoulders on forward. Exhale, just releasing the heels towards the earth. We're not interested whether they touch or not. Slowly, knees down, in control, opening up the heart space. Exhale, downward facing. Three-legged, inhale, left leg up. Low lunge, exhale, just take your left foot forward, release right knee down. Inhale, bring the arms up, shoulder blades wrapping in, that glute activation we do a lot here. And my pelvis always wants to kind of go on a diagonal. And so just, if you can, and it feels okay, just trying to send your right hip forward if you have a bit of a tendency to do what I do, okay? Shoulder blades really wrapping in towards armpits, squeezing upper arms together. And just a moment here, pressing down through the right shin into the earth, pressing down through the inner left ankle, and then lifting torso out of pelvis. Moving into a deep lunge. So take your hands on your left thigh and then start to send your left knee forward, still lifting your torso up out of the pelvis. If it starts to feel really gnarly in your low back, don't go there, all right? Just stay in that more neutral position. Still inviting the right hip to face forward, lifting the torso out of pelvis. And a couple of breaths here. No collapse, okay? So it's not this. Really supporting as we lift up. Take the pelvis back for a neutral pelvis, heel to butt. So right hand brings right heel in. The glute activation, the lift up out of the pelvis. You can stay here, or if you want, wobbling, You can start to send your left knee forward, but really make sure that the glutes are on and there's that continual lift of the torso out of pelvis. So it's really where it's appropriate for your body. Maybe it's back here with that very neutral pelvis. Just always checking in, whatever you're doing is the right pose for your body today. Still lifting up, shoulders relaxed, 2 breaths here. Release the back foot, hands down, inhale, plank. Knees up or down, it's up to you, just slowly lowering all the way down to the floor. So keeping the legs hip width apart, toes facing back, just tuck your toes and lengthen your legs out of your pelvis. And then inwardly rotate your thighs. So you're rotating your thighs inward. And then tops of the feet press down, press your pubic bone into the earth. And then inhale up into cobra. So I learned this leg movement in gyrokinesis. It's like a movement practice I do, and it can really help to bring space in the sacrum. One more breath, pubic bone presses down, reaching back through the toes, heart space open. Don't lean forward, press forward with your hands. That jams into the lumbar, okay? Energetically dragging back. Slowly release. Exhale onto all fours. Inhale, opening up into cat-cow, toes tucked. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale up on the balls of the feet, just bum up, not shoulders forward. Exhale slowly down through the heels. Super slow, or as long as you've got on an inhale, just releasing the knees down, opening up the heart space, still elbows soft, squeezing upper arms together. Exhale, downward facing. 3-legged, inhale, right leg up. Make sure the right hip is facing down, not out to the side. Low lunge, exhale, place right foot forward, left knee down. Inhale up. Exhale, shoulder blades wrap in, left glutes are active. This side I'm much more naturally neutral, but you may find that you're trying to head out a little bit. So again, just very aware of keeping the hips forward. And a moment here before we maybe take that deeper lunge option. So the left shin, the foot presses down, the right inner ankle presses down, so we get this lift. So it's never, gravity is great, but sometimes we need to work against it. Otherwise, you know, it all gets a bit slouchy. Or it does in my world. Okay, deep lunge, if you want to go there. Hands on your right thigh. Keep that glute activation. So this is really important, okay? So it's not just this, you know, just like hanging down into your pelvis. It might look good if people, you know, have that kind of attitude towards their practice. So we want to be strong, we want to be healthy, we want to be functional. So glutes active, maybe sending your right thigh forward. The hands are pressing into the thighs, so we've got that lift up out of the torso. So we always, you know, this is really supportive. We've got a neutral pelvis, so the SI joint is happy. Torso is lifting, shoulders relaxed. And again, just focusing on the breath. One more. Bring your pelvis back to get into heel to butt, and then there's that option if you want to go into that deeper one. So left heel comes in. Again, left glutes active. A moment here, just really lifting up. Stay here if you'd like. If you're interested, you want to explore sending the right knee forward, but that glute activation is on, okay? And maybe experiencing a little bit of intensity in that left thigh. Maybe not, but keep lifting up. Keep breathing in a way that is nourishing and supportive. So that's a balanced inhale with exhale, and we're just allowing the breath to happen rather than trying to grasp. If we're in the wrong posture, we'll try and grab an inhale, you know. So we're always just allowing that movement of energy that we call breathing to happen in a very natural way. One more. Release out, hands down, inhale, plank. Again, your choice, knees up or down. As you lower down, there's a softness in the elbows. Squeeze the upper arms in. This helps to take the weight out of the wrists. Same again, lengthen your legs out of your pelvis by tucking your toes, and then the feet flat on the floor. Pubic bone, front thighs press into earth, reach back through toes. To bring the torso up, so you're not going to push your hands forward, okay? You're going to use your strong low back muscles to bring the torso up, and then energetically, palms are dragging back. Elbows are soft here, still squeezing upper arms in. One more breath. Release. Exhale back onto all fours. Same again. Inhale, opening up the heart space, toes are tucked. Exhale, downward facing, long in the back of the neck. Inhale up on the balls, bum up to sky. Exhale, down through the heels, no knocking out knees. Inhale in control, elbows soft, squeeze upper arms in as knees release down, heart space opens. Exhale, downward facing. Three-legged into a heel to butt variation. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged. Exhale, left heel to right buttock. So rather than just twisting the upper body as well, we're wanting to keep as best we can. The upper body is facing down towards the earth, and we're opening up the hip by reaching forward through the left femur. So lengthening towards the knee, and then just letting the left foot relax towards the right buttock. Very easy to lock out the arms here, so if you can, just be aware of what's going on in your elbows and your shoulders. One more breath. Inhale back to three-legged, nice and slow. Gecko. Exhale, left foot to the outside of left hand. 45 degrees-ish. Back knee up, back knee down, don't care. On your hands, on your forearms, up to you. Butt, okay, the butt. You need to be anchored through the inner left ankle. You need to reach back through the right leg, through heel or toes if the knee is down. If you're staying on your hands, no locking out, okay? And maybe you want to play around. You know, you don't have to just stay static. Deciding what really feels best, what enables you to be able to just get out of the way. And just observe the breath and the body. Left knee is reaching over towards the toes as right leg reaches back. If you're on your hands, check in with the elbows. If you're on your forearms, is softening through back of neck, base of skull. Lounge. Right knee down, so the deeper lunge variation, if it's okay for you. Right hand to the top right hand corner of the mat. If it's not okay for you, bring your left foot in and do what we normally do, okay? Just hugging your leg, right leg extended forward, right arm, excuse me. If you're okay with this, the left leg kind of stays where it was in gecko. It might move a little bit as you just slowly release your right hip down. So I've said this before, I'm a bit on the fence with this pose because it does open up a lot of compromise in the SI joint. So just being very attentive to how you're feeling around there. And if you're not feeling it, then get out of it, always. Whether you're doing the more aligned variation with your left leg or this one, we're still reaching through the torso and the waist up to rib cage and armpit, still reaching back through the right leg. And close the eyes and just breathe, observe these lines of energy, the breath moving through them. If you're in the variation that I'm in, left hand down before you bring yourself out. So you're supporting yourself through both hands, because there definitely is an opportunity to compromise a bit here. And then just bring your left knee back onto all fours. We'll do that little flow one more time. Toes tucked, inhale, open the heart space. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, up on the balls. Exhale, opening the back of the legs, releasing the knees down towards the earth. Slowly releasing the knees down as the heart space opens. Exhale, back into downward facing. Three-legged, heel to butt variation. Inhale, right leg up, three-legged. Try not to move your upper body, so it's an external rotation in the right hip that is just softening your heel towards your butt. The energy, so your right thigh, you're kind of reaching out towards the knee. Soften the elbows, still squeezing upper arms towards each other. So it's not a massive twist in the torso. We're just inviting the right hip to open if it feels okay. Inhale, three-legged, just gently. Right leg comes back, right hip faces down. Gecko. Exhale slowly. Just take your right foot to the outside of your hand. So again, knee up or down, hands or forearms. You might want to do something different on this side because it feels better. Enables you to really focus on the breath. Just things to be aware of, that you're anchoring through the right inner ankle, not rolling onto the edge of the foot. If you're on your hands, the elbows haven't locked. And if you're on your forearms, back of the neck is long. Reach forward through the right knee, reach back through the left heel or toes. Just like we did at the beginning, just stepping into the background, observing the breath, allowing the body and the breath just to sort it out, which they always do when we get out of our way. Lounge. If you prefer the more aligned variation, so the right foot is in, left hand way ahead of shoulder, hugging your leg. If you want to go there with the more just different option, right foot kind of stays where it is, left hand to the top of the mat, and very slowly, just totally focusing on what's going on here. Releasing your left hip down. Right foot may need to move slightly, let it, because it's coming from here. So always awareness around the SI joint, especially in something like this. Up to you. And then once you're in the right pose for your body today, close your eyes and lengthen through waist and rib cage up to armpit. And lengthen back through the left leg. Compromising lounge is always, you know, the elbows locked, the shoulder hangs up around the ear. That's just the way it is. Eyes closed, just keep practicing getting out of your own way. Observing these lines of energy and the balanced, steady breath. If you're in the variation I'm in, right hand supports you, okay, as well, as you gently just ease yourself out, very attentive to your hips, to your SI joint. Come onto all four first, and then take it back into downward facing. Inhale through to plank. Exhale all the way down. Same again, that alignment with the legs. So lengthen the legs by reaching back through the heels, and then the pubic bone, the front thighs and the tops of the feet. Really press down into the earth. Not using your arms to push forward. As you inhale, low back, brings the chest up, and then energetically dragging the palms back, squeezing the upper arms together. Reach back through the toes. Extend the heart space forward as if we were in cat-cow. Release. Exhale back, downward facing. Warrior two. Inhale, left foot forward. Anchor the right heel down. And then exhale, just bringing the torso up, warrior two. Right leg, the energy, it's like you're pressing down through the outside of the leg and you're trying to draw up through the inside, through the inseam. A lot of energy through inner left ankle, just this sense of sending the knee forward and lifting a little bit out of the hip crease. Eagle arms, inhale, lift up. Exhale, left wraps under right, double bind, hands on shoulders. As always, whatever suits you, your body. Inhale, as you press down through your legs into the earth, the lift that you get, feel it, torso lifting out of pelvis. Exhale, arms back into shoulders, shoulder blades down the back. Soften chin to chest if it's okay for you, you've got space there. Check your right knee isn't locked, no toes are gripping, face is soft and relaxed. Keeping the bind, we're going to take it into humble, okay? So very slowly tilting from the pelvis as the torso comes down. If this doesn't feel good for you, then you can release your arms and just gently rest your hands on the floor. Sending the left knee forward, anchoring down through inner left ankle. Try not to lock out the right knee. I know it's so easy just to do that here for a sense of stability. Long in the neck, 2 more breaths. Head to ankle prep, release the bind, and just walk your hands around so they're kind of in line with your pubic bone along the long end of the mat. Left hand goes to the inner left thigh, And just don't push your knee out. You're just going to send your left thigh forward. And then it's up to you where you want to place your right hand, okay? But it's just more about this line of energy and just breathing down into the left side of the pelvis. Again, just witnessing, just getting out of the way. Extended warrior. Bring your left hand down and just take your block, bring it along the inside of your left foot, and then pop your left hand on it. Right arm comes up and over. Reaching back through right leg, reaching forward through right waist and rib cage. So a feeling of lunge here. Left forearm, left shin, pressing towards each other. Soften the neck, check in with the toes, and breathe. Opening up from the right ankle all the way to the tips of the fingers. Release. Right hand down. Inhale, left leg back, plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. Squeeze the upper arms in. Again, a cobra, the legs reaching back, lengthening. Inwardly rotate the femurs. And then press from your hip bones, your pubic bone, all the way down to the tops of the toes into the earth. And then the back muscles, lift the chest up and the palms energetically dragging back, invite the heart space to open, but reach back through the toes. Squeezing the upper arms together, so no locking out, shoulders aren't up here. Getting strong in a functional way. Release, exhale back, downward facing. Other side, warrior two. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. And then exhale, torso up. So again, warrior two, try not to lock out the knee, just this feeling of lengthening down, but drawing up. This is the harder bit, this feeling of drawing up, okay? And just imagine it, you know, it doesn't matter whether you feel it's happening or not, just imagining that. Right knee forward to lift out of the hip crease a little bit. Eagle arms, lift up. And then exhale, right arm under left. Pick a bind that suits your body today, okay? Because we do the same things over and over again in yoga, it's very easy to sort of have this reference up in the mind of what the body should be doing in a certain pose. But we're ever changing, you know, we're heading into quieter times of the year, much more yin seasons, shorter days, colder, the body's more contracted. And so our practice needs to reflect that and respect, you know, the changes in the body. Inhale, just anchoring down through the feet, lifting the torso out of pelvis. Exhale, arms back into shoulders, shoulder blades down the back. The softening in the chin towards the chest. And then very slowly from the pelvis, coming into humble with eagle arms. But again, if this doesn't work for you, then you can come into humble, but just rest your hands on the floor, but they're not as a support. The support is in your legs. And the support is by pressing through the right inner ankle to lift slightly out of right hip crease. Check the left knee hasn't locked. Back of the neck is long. Just tippy-toeing out of your own way. Allowing a natural flow of breath in and out. So we're not grabbing for an inhale or forcing an exhale out. Release the bind, so hands down, head to ankle prep. So just walk your hands so your torso is parallel with your pubic bone, and then right hand on right inner thigh. So again, you're not forcing your knee open, you're just lengthening your thigh forward. Left hand where it feels comfortable for you, elbow's probably going to lock here, you know, that's okay. And just breathing down into the right hip. Just make sure you're not pushing your knee out. You're lengthening your thigh forward. Soft face. Extended warrior. So right hand up to your right foot and then place a block there to pop your hand on top of it. Your shin and your forearm really connect. Left arm reaches up and over. So a lot of energy kind of reaching back, but also reaching forward. Think lounge lunge here. Soft in the neck. The breath is exactly the same quality as when we were at the beginning of practice. We're not forcing the breath, just allowing this movement of energy. Not forcing the body to do anything. We place it in certain positions. And then that's it, you know, that we've done our job. Last one. Release your left hand down, step it back, downward facing dog. Just a moment here, if you'd like to, walk in the dog, so just soften one knee as the opposite leg extends slightly. If it feels good for you, if you don't want to do it, just stay in dog. And then if you have been walking your dog, just a couple of breaths here in downward facing. Pigeon, heel to butt. Inhale your left knee to the outside edge of your left wrist, and then extend your right leg back. So you may want your block here for heel to butt, just to rest your forearm on, or maybe even a little bit more support with your hand. So left shin, as always, is pressing down into the earth. So we've got a bit of lift as left hip draws back. Inwardly rotate your right femur, so like we've been doing, okay, in the cobras. And then if you want to use your block, you can rest your forearm on it as you bring your right heel into butt. Or if you're okay with it, a forearm on the floor or your hand as you start to slowly soften the torso down. But just make sure that your right hip is facing towards the floor, not out to the side. And we're still supporting ourselves with that gentle pressure of the left shin into the earth. This should feel pretty nice. You know, we've done a lot of like slow, steady warming up to get to this posture. just letting it be, just being in the background, observing the breath. Release the back foot, just come up on your hands. Pigeon, sternum to heel. So you may want your block here, okay? So come and sit on your left buttock. And you may find that your right knee starts to scoot up towards your body. That's totally fine because we want the left shin parallel, okay? So for some of us, the right knee will need to be close in to facilitate this. For some of us, for me, it's actually more comfortable back here. If you want, you can use the block as reference and put it on the sole of your left foot. We're going to start to just twist the torso so the sternum is in line with your heel. You may stay here, or you may find that you can bring your sternum towards your heel using the block to gently press your foot into. Soften the face. If you're clenching anything here, and the breath is grabby, you need to back off. Just bring your torso up. You might need to change the positioning of your right leg. As we really anchor down our awareness and breath into the left hip. And we're actually just weaving the full moon energies into this part of our energy body. Three more. Slowly is the key word here. Just gently bring yourself up. Draw your left heel in towards your pubic bone before bringing yourself back into downward facing dog. And again, if you'd like to walk the dog here for a few breaths, or you just feel to stay in a more static position, just do what suits you. And then static for a couple of breaths. Pigeon heel to butt. Inhale the right knee to the outside edge of the wrist, extending the left leg back, and that internal rotation of the femur. Right shin, as always, pressing down, so we're not just collapsing all the weight of the torso into the pelvic socket here. Brick if you want it, or block. I think it's a brick actually is the correct term. Up to you. And then left heel into butt. And then coming down, if you want to, into a place that's suitable for you to stay away from getting involved. Right shin is very active, right hip draws back. Left heel into butt. And exactly the same quality of breath as when we were lying down at the beginning. Observing, being held and supported by the earth, that gentle but very powerful pull of gravity. Release your foot, support yourself up. Pigeon, sternum to heel. So sit on your right buttock, and as you move your right shin parallel to the top of the mat, you may find your left leg, your knee might scoot right up. It's totally fine, okay? We're more interested in what's going on in the right hip and in the knee. I like a block here. It's, you know, it's up to you, but I find it's a good reference for like really pressing the foot into it. Sternum in line with your heel. I've got a runny nose, sorry. And this may be enough, all right, to stay here if you're interested, if your right hip is interested, because that's what it's all about. You know, the sternum comes towards the heel. It doesn't matter what you look like, what you're doing. What matters is that you have the ability now to close your eyes, to breathe with a fair amount of ease into the right hip. Because underneath this, energetically, we're just really just weaving in the energy of the full moon into this part of our energy system. Keeping that focus. Three more. Slowly supporting yourself up and just gently, just bringing, so not swinging your left leg, just gently in control, bringing your left leg forward. Cosmic hug. Feet together, hugging the knees in. If this isn't comfortable for you, you can take your feet wider. Give yourself a bit of space in the upper chest. Two breaths down into both hips. And then slowly coming down for Shavasana, or if you prefer, semi-supine. The most important pose of our practice, the pose of integration, the hardest pose of our practice, because it's so easy just to wander off, get drawn up into the mind, and off we go into our day. So that choice to stay focused on the breath, to feel the support of the earth underneath us, that energy of gravity, the gravitational pull, this magnetic force connecting us into the earth. If you've wandered off, just come back. Bringing the knees in, keep the sacrum grounded. Just 3 breaths, just breathing into the back of the body, breathing into the earth. And then in a gentle, supportive way, coming up to seated. And once you're here, palms of the hands resting on the legs, shoulders back slightly. And perhaps feeling a bit more spacious around the pelvis, a little bit more aware of that very intimate, grounded relationship we have with the earth underneath us. And we can use that relationship throughout our day. So yoga isn't something we just do, tick a box, and then, carry on with our day. Yoga is the foundation of what we can bring into our day to support us. So no one knows what our day is going to be like. I know we put a lot of projection onto what our day is going to be like, and then we actually create from that projection. So maybe just being open to allow life to flow through you today, just an awareness of being able to stay grounded and anchored and centered, and just moving with the ease of life when we allow it to flow through us rather than try and dictate what we want it to be like. Hands into Namaste, breath into the heart, our offering of gratitude through the sound of Om. Soft exhale out. Deep inhale to the heart. Om. Om. Thumbs up to brow center. Namaste, yogis. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.